Hey, my loves. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I decided I wanted to do a little teaching today for you. So I'll give you a backstory. I was doing some work with messaging and, that for my clients, I was in a group and I was saying, what blocks, like what are the stories you have? What do you think holds you back? And one of the main ones that came up was, I don't want to be rejected. If I reach out, if I make this offer, if I approach this person, then I could get rejected. Now think about that. If that's the predominant first thought about you approaching somebody or doing marketing or content creation, how do you think that's going to go? It's literally like gas brakes, right? I'm going to do it. Oh crap, don't get rejected, right? There's a thing called a conflicting intention. So if you can imagine that your conscious mind is like a glacier, right? So your conscious mind, the thing that's above the surface, we have access to literally 5% of that. Everything else, 95% is unconscious, like under the surface. So here you say, yes, I want to grow my business. I'm going to go make an offer. I'm going to reach out. I'm going to ask people to join that program. Conscious. Then the unconscious has the conflicting intention. I want to do this, but holy crap, this would be bad. I want to do this, but what if you get rejected? And it makes no logical sense, right? Because most of us, when we're 50, 60, 40, 30, whatever, most of us understand like, no, it's just a service. I'm offering you my service. Take it or leave it. No big deal. But when you have had wounding in that area, when you've had childhood trauma, or when you've had history of being left or abandoned as a child, or things where maybe you were misunderstood or you weren't chosen in school or whatever it was, there could be a myriad of things. There's going to be a very protective part that's like, yeah, you can't feel that again. Nope. Don't make the offer. Nope. Hide a little bit. Okay. So here's what I said recently, and people sort of really liked it. Adults can't be rejected. And I know that's like, what? And we've all felt rejected, like, oh my, last time the boyfriend broke up with me 5 years ago, I felt wildly rejected until I stopped feeling rejected. And what I mean by that is we can create whatever narrative we want. And so if somebody not choosing you, or somebody declining to work with you, or somebody saying, maybe I can't afford it, or it's not the right time, or just know, if you have a story that's a personal rejection of me, it's going to hurt a lot. Like seriously, it's going to be really rough. And so what I want you to do is understand, number one, when you sell yourself as the service, right? Because most of the people that I'm talking to are service-based business owners. They're not selling, software for IBM. They're not selling products for other companies. They're not repping other people. Most of us, we're the product. We're what's up for sale. And what I know is when that happens, when you are up for sale, ooh, the stakes are higher. People tell me all the time, oh my gosh, when I was working for that company, I could sell the hell out of that. But now that it's me, because when I'm selling, John Smith over here and his great program, and you should go see John Smith. If you don't want it, it has nothing to do with me. It's about you don't want to work with John Smith. But if I'm selling Tree Skelly and you don't want it, not that I do that, because I don't have that story of rejection. So I want you to just to number one track. What is my story? What is my belief? If somebody doesn't want to work with me, or what would I fear if I made an offer and they said no? If there's any story that doesn't feel like a grown person, you're in a childhood wound. There's a trauma response. There's something protective going on, right? So what I want you to do is this. I want you to understand that adults cannot be rejected. So I tell this story. It's kind of a funny story. Like I referenced about five years ago, or whatever, I was in a relationship that I thought was serious and I thought it was going somewhere, and blindsided, right? It just the text one day, I can't do this anymore. Blindsided. And I went all the way into my wound. I mean, I was like, sobbing for days. How could I be thrown away? I was so in the grief of that massive overreaction. I'd been with this person a couple of years. This was the end of the world. And thank God I was a therapist and I can track myself. And I was like, yeah, wow. Number one, adults aren't thrown away. Nobody threw you away. This man woke up and realized he didn't want to be in this relationship. Clean and simple. And I finally got to the point of, after the trauma, after the processing all the emotions, after allowing all the human stuff, right? I finally got to, wait a minute. I bet something better is coming. And within a month, I met my beloved, right? So, and I felt all the feelings and I was triggered as hell. I was so in the throes of being thrown away. How sad is that? That just is heartbreaking to me that I even felt that, but that was my childhood wounding, right? And unfortunately, we often have those wounds. And so here we are, grown women trying to like, okay, pick me, you, yeah, pick me, hello. And if there's that wounding from the childhood, it's going to be challenging. So we need to create a new story. And the new story is this: nobody rejects me. Some people might not choose to take my offer at this time. Now, maybe they're not a good fit. Maybe it creates space so I could get a better client in. Maybe they would be best served with somebody else. I remember when I was a very brand new business coach, brand new, and I was working in a coaching company and I just sucked at sales. I was like, oh, and I would think somebody was going to sign up, and then they wouldn't sign up. And my mentor at the time said, rejection is God's protection. And so that covered me for a long time, right? So I know if a client doesn't sign up, it is literally not about me. There is nothing about me that I go, oh, if I was only enough. Oh, if I could only help them more. There is no personal to me, because I have different stories. Because my absolute belief is that what is for you will find its way to you. What is not for you, right? And we don't go running after people like, hey, pick me, don't reject me, right? So I just want you to get really clear on, number one, do I have a fear of rejection? Number two, if that is the case, you might want to do some childhood work. This is the stuff I do with my clients to help them free up their energy so it doesn't hold back. And then the third part is, if I held a new belief, what would that belief be? And what works for me is literally, I have a contractual agreement on a soul level with my divine right clients. They will find me. I will find them. And the other people aren't my clients. They're somebody else's clients. They've not been entrusted to me on a soul level, right? So if somebody says, I'd love to work with you, I don't have the money, I'm like, well, you can join my $97 program. That, there you go. I can help you there. Or I say, all right, bless and release, but it's never about me. So I want you to get to that level of understanding that it's never about you. Don't take it personally. Don't fear rejection, because remember, say it with me, adults don't get rejected. Okay. All right. Lots of love. I would really appreciate hearing from you. What's your take on this? What do you think about this? Does it resonate? Is it like, oh my, that is so super helpful. Thank you. All right. Peace and blessings. Bye now.